Today, I'm going to explain a 2016 film called Canola. This movie follows the emotional journey of a grandmother as she tries to reconnect with her granddaughter, who went missing years ago. The story begins in a quiet, peaceful place. This girl's name is Hye-ji, and this elderly woman is Hye-ji's grandmother. She works as a diver. Workers in this profession dive into the sea and collect seaweed and other things from the seabed. Hye-ji lives with her grandmother on Jeju Island. Her father has passed away, and her mother has remarried someone else. However, Hye-ji has no sadness. She is very happy with her grandmother. Her grandmother takes great care of her. Neither of them can stay without the other. One day, her grandmother buys her a box of colored pencils, and from then on, Hye-ji starts drawing all over the house. They also have a pig named Toa. One day, Hye-ji suddenly asks her grandmother, "Which is bigger, the sea or the sky?" Her grandmother says, "The sea is bigger." Hye-ji asks, "Have you seen the end of both?" Her grandmother replies, "Even if I haven't, I know. When you grow up, you will understand too." That night, Hye-ji draws a picture of her grandmother with those colored pencils. But before she can color the hair in the drawing, her grandmother tells her to go to sleep, because they will go to the city in the morning for a wedding. Hye-ji puts the colored pencils in her bag and falls asleep with her grandmother. The next morning, while going to the wedding, her grandmother stops at the market to do some shopping. She is buying things for Hye-ji. But suddenly, she notices that Hye-ji is no longer beside her. She searches for her everywhere but cannot find her. Unable to find her granddaughter, she becomes very distressed. After that, 12 years pass. Hye-ji is now grown up. The girl with her is named Min-hee. The two of them have come to a makeup store, and Min-hee steals a lot of makeup from there. In fact, Hye-ji and Min-hee live together. They have no guardians. Min-hee is always busy with her appearance, but Hye-ji has no interest in these things. She prefers drawing with lipstick. At that time, two boys who are their friends arrive. They arrange food for them, and in return, Hye-ji and the others do work for them. This time, the two boys tell Min-hee to pretend to be a prostitute and go in front of a man, although she would only have to act and not do anything. However, Min-hee becomes very scared, so instead of her, Hye-ji goes to the man's hotel pretending to be a prostitute. At the right moment, the two boys enter the room and start blackmailing the man for money. When the man refuses, a fight begins between them. During the struggle, the man's head hits the furniture and he falls down. Blood starts coming from his head. Because of this, Hye-ji and the others run away from that place. After leaving, they end up on the streets. Min-hee brings food for them. At that time, they notice a missing child advertisement on a food package. In fact, Hye-ji's grandmother is still searching for her. On the other side, it is shown that the elderly grandmother is living alone on Jeju Island. Even after all this time, she is still making the same effort to find Hye-ji, who went missing 12 years ago. Taking advantage of her loneliness, a broker keeps pressuring her to sell the house. However, the grandmother still drives the broker away. At that time, their neighbor arrives, whose name is Suk-ho. He is a very kind man. He loved Hye-ji like his own daughter. He tells the elderly woman how long she will continue to struggle like this. Now she can sell the house and live the rest of her life in comfort. However, the grandmother refuses to sell the house. She believes that one day her granddaughter Hye-ji will return to this house. At that moment, a call comes from the police station saying that Hye-ji has been found. They become very happy. After that, Suk-ho and his wife Myung take the grandmother to the police station. The police inform them that when Hye-ji went missing, her mother had actually kidnapped her. Later, her mother died in a car accident, and her stepfather left her in an orphanage. The police complete all the formalities and take samples for a DNA test. After a long 12 years, the grandmother finally sees Hye-ji. Happiness and pain fill her heart at the same time. As she cries, she goes toward her granddaughter. She asks why she did not return for so long. Hye-ji says that her mother told her that her grandmother had died. That is why she did not come back. However, now her grandmother is very happy to have her back. And to celebrate Hye-ji's return, there is a joyful gathering at their house today. Hye-ji goes to her room and looks at all the pictures from her childhood. Then she takes out the box of colored pencils and places inside it the pencil she had with her when she went missing. Her grandmother comes and says that she still has it. That day at the market, her grandmother wanted to buy many nice things for Hye-ji, and in that happiness, she did not realize when she let go of her hand. But from today, they will not suffer anymore. From now on, they will spend their time together happily. At night, they all enjoy themselves together. After so many years, happiness has returned to the life of the elderly grandmother. However, Hye-ji is not able to adjust properly here. In the morning, her grandmother takes Hye-ji to the market again and buys her many clothes, a hair clip, and also a school uniform. However, Hye-ji does not feel comfortable here. She calls Min-hee from a telephone booth. Min-hee says that the man from the hotel did not die, but the hotel management has demanded a large fine. And those two boys, their friends, are trying their best to blame Hye-ji. Hearing all this, she becomes very worried. After that, she meets a boy from the area whose name is Han. When Han comes to talk to her, Hye-ji asks if he knows her. Han says that everyone in the village knows her. Then Han gives her a ride on his bicycle and drops her at her house. During that time, they talk and get to know each other. The next day, Hye-ji goes to school and Han sits beside her there as well. Meanwhile, the grandmother asks Myung about who the art teacher is at Hye-ji's school. She wants to make her granddaughter an artist because Hye-ji has loved drawing since childhood. On the other side, it is shown that the school's art teacher does not give any specific subject for drawing in class. He tells the students they can draw whatever they want. While all the students start drawing, Hye-ji does not draw anything. The teacher comes and tells her to draw whatever she likes, but Hye-ji throws down the pencil and says nothing is coming to her mind and asks if she will be asked to leave the class. The teacher says that until she draws something, she has to stay in the room. Everyone finishes their drawings and leaves, but Hye-ji is still sitting with a blank canvas. She does not feel like drawing with a pencil at all. The teacher tells her that she is very stubborn and asks her to go home. As Hye-ji leaves in frustration, her pencil bag falls, and she sees her lipstick inside it. Then she breaks the lipstick and starts drawing with it. It becomes night. The teacher sees her and asks if she has not gone home and what she is still doing, and leaves with a sad expression. The teacher then notices that Hye-ji has made a beautiful drawing using lipstick and kajal. On the other side, it has become very late, and the grandmother is very worried. When Hye-ji returns home, her grandmother asks her to come and eat. While eating, she tries to feed Hye-ji from her own plate. She feeds her granddaughter with great affection. Although Hye-ji feels some hesitation about eating the leftover food, she still eats it. The next day, the art teacher calls Hye-ji to the school garden to draw. He asks her to draw a statue there, and Hye-ji happily takes out her color box. However, the teacher tells her to sketch with a pencil. In fact, Hye-ji likes drawing with colors, not with a pencil. Meanwhile, the grandmother talks with Myung about Hye-ji. Since Hye-ji returned, the grandmother has noticed that she is unable to adjust. She cannot get used to the old house, the old bathroom, and these surroundings. That is why she is thinking about moving with Hye-ji to a modern apartment. On the other side, Hye-ji comes home and sees a painting book by that art teacher. She begins to like his work very much. Seeing her like this, her grandmother becomes very happy. The grandmother calls the broker. The house that she protected for so many years and refused to sell, today she decides to sell it for her granddaughter's happiness. Without any hesitation, she signs the documents to sell the house so that she can use the money to live with Hye-ji in a modern apartment. Meanwhile, the art teacher is also making a strong effort to teach Hye-ji art. And today the teacher takes Hye-ji. The teacher tells her something important. He says, "Hye-ji, you always concentrate on shadows. But remember, you should focus on light, not shadows. A good artist always gives importance to light, not shadows." After school, Han takes her to a beautiful place to spend time. In that green area, he plays music for her on a music player. But when Han's phone suddenly rings, Hye-ji looks at the phone. Han asks if she wants to call someone. Then Hye-ji calls her friend Min-hee. But before Min-hee can speak, the two boys take the phone and threaten her, saying that if Hye-ji does not send them money very soon, it will not be good for Min-hee. Hye-ji becomes very tense. After that, one day Hye-ji tells her art teacher that she will not draw anymore and does not want to do this. Then the teacher takes out all the things from his cupboard that Hye-ji's grandmother had given her. He says that he knows her life has gone through many hardships, but when her grandmother is working so hard and trying so much so that she can build a good life, can she not at least try? Knowing how much her grandmother is doing for her, Hye-ji becomes emotional. That day, everyone in the village is busy with the sea god worship, including her grandmother. Taking this opportunity, Hye-ji goes to her grandmother's cupboard to steal money. Even today, her grandmother is praying to the sea god for her, so that Hye-ji can become a good artist and live a happy life. On the other side, Hye-ji takes her grandmother's bank passbook to withdraw money, but at the last moment she cannot withdraw it. Meanwhile, when the grandmother cannot find the money, she calls the police. But then Myung reminds her that she had lent the money to a neighbor last month, which the grandmother had forgotten. Hye-ji quietly puts the bank book back in the cupboard. However, Suk-ho notices this and becomes suspicious. Even when he tells the grandmother about it, she does not pay attention. After that, the grandmother goes to Hye-ji where she is smoking. When Hye-ji tries to hide it, the grandmother asks her to give her one too. While smoking, she asks Hye-ji, "Tell me which is bigger, the sea or the sky?" Hye-ji answers, "Of course the sky." Hearing this, the grandmother says that she has grown up now. She tells her to remember one thing. No matter how difficult life becomes, if someone is by your side, it becomes easier to live. So she should live her life the way she wants. She says she will always be by her side and will handle everything else. The next day, seeing her grandmother working in the sun, Hye-ji applies sunscreen on her face and takes care of her. The grandmother feels very happy receiving this affection from her granddaughter. Meanwhile, the art teacher continues trying to make Hye-ji an artist. Hye-ji also takes care of her teacher. She now wants to live as a good person. One day, Hye-ji wants to dive into the sea with her grandmother. However, her grandmother does not want her to do the same work or become a diver. So, just to show her around, she takes all the oxygen cylinders and necessary precautions and takes her into the sea. Holding her hand, she shows her the beautiful sights under the sea. That day, Hye-ji brings a drawing to show her teacher. It is a picture of her grandmother. The teacher is very happy and surprised to see such a beautiful drawing. He submits Hye-ji's name for an art contest in Seoul based on this drawing. After school, while Hye-ji is returning home with Han, a man calls her. Seeing the man, Hye-ji becomes shocked. She quickly sends Han away and asks the man what he is doing there and how he found her. In fact, the man is Hye-ji's stepfather. After her mother died, this man had left her in an orphanage. Now he has come to ask for money. When Hye-ji refuses, the man wants to go to her grandmother, but Hye-ji does not allow him and says she will arrange the money herself. After that, she shows the drawing to her grandmother. The grandmother becomes very happy and emotional seeing her granddaughter's talent and love. At night, Hye-ji cries a lot. She completes the unfinished drawing of her grandmother that she had started in childhood. The next day, Hye-ji goes to Seoul with her teacher for the contest. After arriving there, she meets her stepfather and gives him money. This means Hye-ji has taken money from her grandmother. She tells him to leave her life forever. After that, she goes to the art contest. But after the contest ends, the teacher notices that Hye-ji is not there. She has left. In a letter she wrote to the teacher, she says, "I have named this drawing Confession. Even now, I prefer the darkness. Light is not for me, so I am leaving. Please take care of my grandmother." On the other side, Suk-ho comes to the grandmother. The DNA test report has arrived. According to the report, Hye-ji is not her granddaughter. This is the truth. However, the grandmother refuses to listen. Holding her pain inside, she tells Suk-ho that she does not accept this and asks him to leave. Meanwhile, Han cannot feel at ease. He thinks a lot and finally calls the number that Hye-ji had dialed from his phone. In this way, he speaks with Min-hee. At night, Hye-ji comes to meet Min-hee. But the two boys also come there and start asking her for money. When she cannot give it, they begin to beat her. However, at that time, Han arrives there with the police. In fact, Han had learned everything by talking to Min-hee. The police also bring Hye-ji. Her grandmother runs to her and asks if she is really not Hye-ji. She says that everyone is saying she is not her Hye-ji and asks if they are all lying. Here the real truth is revealed. This girl is not actually Hye-ji. The police also bring this girl's father. The real events are shown. Hye-ji was taken from the market by her mother. At that time, her mother had another daughter with that man. Her name was Youn. Hye-ji used to cry all the time to go back to her grandmother. One day in the car, Hye-ji's mother and her husband were arguing a lot about why she had brought Hye-ji and about the expenses of raising her. At that moment, they met with an accident. In that accident, Hye-ji and her mother died. Hye-ji's stepfather and her stepsister Youn survived. At the hospital, a person from the insurance company came and said that there was an insurance policy in the name of Hye-ji's stepsister, Youn. Because of greed for money, that man declared his own daughter dead even though she was alive. Using Hye-ji's body, he claimed that it was Youn's dead body. He threatened Youn not to say anything. From that day on, Youn was declared dead even though she was alive. Her identity became Hye-ji. Hye-ji's grandmother comes to her granddaughter's grave and cries a lot. Even after so many years, the happiness of finding her granddaughter again did not last long. On the other side, for hiding her identity, going to Hye-ji's house and stealing money, Youn is sentenced to 1 year in prison. While in prison, Youn keeps thinking about Hye-ji, how much she loved her and even gave her that colored pencil. Meanwhile, the grandmother is completely broken. She feels as if she can see little Hye-ji in front of her and hear her voice. At that time, the art teacher comes there and says that Hye-ji has won the art contest. He has come to give her the painting. When the grandmother refuses to take it, the teacher says that it is because of her that Hye-ji learned to draw light, and since it is her picture, she should at least look at it once. When the grandmother opens the painting, she starts crying a lot. Because that painting is of Youn, it is the confession of the present Hye-ji. In the painting, the grandmother is shown holding the hands of her 2 granddaughters and floating under the sea, moving toward the light. This means that even though Youn is not Hye-ji, she is like her granddaughter. She has given the grandmother the place of her own grandmother. Seeing this, the grandmother cries a lot. 12 years ago, she lost one granddaughter, and now after finding another, she has lost her as well. After that, 1 year passes. Hye-ji is now released from prison. She works at a store. One day, Suk-ho comes to her and tells her that her grandmother was ill, so she had been kept in a nursing home, but she has left from there, and now no one knows where she is. Hye-ji goes to the nursing home and enters her grandmother's room. She sees all the drawings hanging on the wall. There she finds the missing poster of little Hye-ji. She understands where her grandmother has gone. So she goes straight to the market where Hye-ji was lost. After searching a lot, she finds her grandmother there, wandering almost like a lost person. The grandmother has forgotten everything. She considers Youn to be her granddaughter Hye-ji. She gently strokes her head and keeps looking at her. After that, Suk-ho goes to the broker and requests him to let them stay in the house that the grandmother had sold. They are willing to pay rent to the owner. At first, the broker does not agree, but after seeing Suk-ho crying, he agrees. After that, 12 years later, just as everyone had arranged a gathering at the house for Hye-ji's return, today everyone is again helping renovate the house in the same way because her grandmother will arrive today. They also bring that pig named Toya, and now Hye-ji comes home with her grandmother. In this house, she spends her days happily with her grandmother. On a winter morning, Hye-ji draws a picture of her grandmother, and her grandmother comes and puts yellow paint on her face. Both of them are very happy today as if they have returned to their childhood. Now Hye-ji takes full care of her grandmother. One day, while sitting by the seaside, her grandmother says that the sky exists within the sea. Hearing this, Hye-ji realizes something very important. She understands that the sea is greater than the sky because the sea can hold the sky within itself. That means when you look at the sea, you can see the reflection of the sky. At night, after putting her grandmother to bed, Hye-ji plays a tape recorder. It is heard that her grandmother recorded something for her while she was in prison. In it, her grandmother recorded her bank password for Youn. Along with that, she says, "Hye-ji, I will call you Hye-ji. I had already understood that you are not Hye-ji. Actually, that day while talking, when you said the sky is bigger, I understood." Even after understanding this much, her grandmother could not accept that this girl was not Hye-ji. She also says, "You are my granddaughter too. There is no doubt about that. Hye-ji, live your life as an artist. I have struggled a lot in my life. I spent my life working as a driver. But in the end I found you. After some time I will pass away, but believe me, I do not want to leave you." Hearing all this, Hye-ji cries a lot and breaks down saying, "Please forgive me, Grandma. Please forgive me." In this way, another season passes. Now her grandmother is admitted to the hospital. She loves flowers very much, so Hye-ji fills all the walls with mustard flowers. Seeing this, her grandmother says that the most beautiful flower she has ever seen is the mustard flower. Then suddenly her grandmother holds her hand and calls her Youn. Today, for the first time, she calls her by this name. "Youn, my time has come to meet Hye-ji. She has been waiting for me for a long time." Youn asks, "Then what will happen to me?" Her grandmother says, "You have to live. Youn, you must live a very beautiful life. Thank you so much for coming into my life as my granddaughter. I will never forget you, not even after death." After this, her grandmother passes away. Today, Youn has truly become Hye-ji. While crying, she says, "Goodbye, Grandma. I will live a very good life." After that, her grandmother is shown with her granddaughter, running through a mustard field. Now they will remain together forever. At the end, Youn is shown. She is now a successful artist. She has opened her own art gallery and holds her own exhibitions. All the neighbors and her teacher are very proud of her talent. And this is where the story ends. Let me know how you like this story of a granddaughter and her grandmother. If you are new, please subscribe. Keep loving.